decision-making at the quarterback position, even in the run game.
You know, you hear some people say a runner can smell the end zone or the pay dirt, right? You can see an acceleration from those who are used to getting there and that do it with a passion. I mean, you start running a little bit harder, a little bit quicker.
3rd and 3. The Aggies jumped on top here in front of this big de facto home crowd. Penn State scored 17 in a row. A&M tied it. Penn State took the lead, and now the Aggies trying to answer midway 4th quarter. Jaworski Lane, 295-pounder back in the game as McGee spends a timeout. Crucial play here if they have to settle for a field goal. Still a 4-point game.
They've been getting in that 2 tight end formation in the eye and doing a lot of check with knee stuff at the line of scrimmage, either running the option in short yardage or in a first down situation off the goal line, and again in a 3rd and short, going to the pass play with the fullback in the flat out of it. So they have a lot of options
and I'll tell you something,
out of that formation once they're over the ball.
It's against their tendency, and it's Martellus Bennett, the big athletic tight end. He doesn't get a lot of looks down here, but when you're inside this area here, having a chance on the end zone, he always says he wants to have more fade routes thrown to him.
I mean, he's 6'7", he's athletic, he catches the ball well, and yeah, he wants to be split out. Just throw the ball up to you, let me go get it. Coaches aren't crazy about that. That's kind of low percentage in their mind. But definitely once you get in the red zone in this area of the field, those tall, big tight ends are a nice target.
8.5 minutes to go here. Both teams having to dig deep. A&M trying for a sweet finish to a very disappointing season. Penn State trying to bounce back from their disappointment to finish the season at 8-4. All Aggies early, aided by a Penn State fumble. Lions turn the table. Goodson fumble in the 2nd quarter. Penn State's have a statistical edge. Aggies on 3rd and 3. There is Bennett. Alexander picking his way down inside the 2, very close to a 1st and goal. I think he's just a little bit short. Here's how A&M took the lead. If you're just joining us here on the option, there's Mike Goodson. And a little bit of a tricky formation.
Had no right tackle. You only had a right guard, unbalanced to the left. They took advantage of Penn State there, but the Nittany Lions made some adjustments. They came roaring back.
Penn State scored its touchdown, first touchdown, and a 4th down completion. Early going to the end zone to Norwood. 4th and inches. 16th play of the drive. It began at the 1. And McGee slips down. Penn State's defense was ready for that.
I thought when you look at the line, the defensive line of Penn State, and the pursuit that they had, the balance that they had, McGee couldn't cut back. Pitch was taken away.
He knew he couldn't run it. Sean Lee had him covered, wanted to pitch the ball, realized the pitch wasn't there, tried to put the brakes on and goes to the ground.
That's well-coached defense. Lions make a stop, get it back up 7.
There's a world outside every darkened door where the brave are free and lovers soar. Come ride with me to the distant shore. Life is a highway. I wanna ride it all night long.
Ever since there were cars, Americans have had a love affair with the open road. And with quality gasoline and great snacks coast to coast, Valero is your perfect travel companion. Valero, the all-American gasoline for the all-American love affair.
All these cities and all these towns, it's in my blood and it's all around.
They say a man should always dress for the job he wants. So why am I dressed up like a pirate in this restaurant? It's all because some hacker stole my identity. Now I'm in here every evening serving chowder and iced tea. Should have gone to freecreditreport.com. I could have seen this coming at me like an atom bomb. They monitor your credit and send you email alerts, so you don't end up selling fish to tourists in t-shirts. Offer applies with enrollment and Triple Advantage.
They use it to shoot the game. They use it to broadcast the game. They use it to produce the game.
The main man on the field today is Peyton Manning.
So why wouldn't you use it to watch the game?
That's Peyton Manning.
Nice Sony.
To you.
Access provides home delivery of testing supplies to thousands of people nationwide, and thousands of physicians trust Access to provide their patients with the supplies they need. Access makes getting your supplies easy. They work with your doctor and Medicare. They ship your supplies directly to your door, no charge. And they handle all the paperwork. If Access pre-qualifies you and Medicare denies your claim, Access will let you keep your meter and supplies at no cost to you.
For more information, call 800-737-8400. Operators are standing by.
Call Access today. You'll be glad you did.
ESPN College Football, the Valero Alamo Bowl, is brought to you by Valero, the all-American gasoline all across America.
So on 4th down, the Aggies don't go with the 295-pound Jaworski Lane. They try to run the option. McGee slipping down. So the marathon drive, 16 plays, from their own 1 to the Lions 1, produces nothing.
That's frustration.
And I think it really tells you right there how much respect A&M has for Penn State's defensive line on the inside, how powerful they are, that the Aggies chose to try the perimeter.
And Rodney Kinlaw is back in the ball game. And has it. And has a first down. Kinlaw had a rib problem, went out. Aaron reporting he had an extra pad put on. He's back in the game. That's his 6th run over 10 yards for the senior, his final game as a Lion.
Well, we saw Rodney Kinlaw early on show us great acceleration. That play right there in the hole to jitterbug, start and stop and go was unbelievable. And I think that really caused a lot of doubt on this Aggie defense. They had to start changing adjustments on their angles of attack.
This Penn State O-line's handling them up front, and there's some gaping holes.
Kinlaw 7 yards per carry. Has it again, and hammers running right over a defender for another first down over the 30. Keith Brown, the corner, got trucked. Jaworski Lane's been very frustrated since he did not get the ball on that 4th down. He was distraught. Left where the running backs were sitting on the bench, went down by himself. Aaron, what can you add? I can add the fact that about 3 teammates, Chris, had to pull him back. He just walked away from his entire offense just to be by himself. A couple of guys just said, come on, and he said no. For a minute, I thought the guy was going to take off his jersey. He was so ticked off.
You can't do that as a player. You know what? This is a team game. Coaches have decisions to make. They have a plan.
And the time he did run it in short yardage, he got stuffed.
He got stuffed. A couple times we've seen him get stuffed.
This is Kinlaw stuffed. Pads popping after about a 3-yard gain. You see Tupe on the stop.
I mean, on the surface, it makes sense. You know, you got your big back, short yardage. We should hammer the football. But what's working for you?
He has tears there coming down on his right cheeks. I mean, the guy has a passion. He has a love for it. He wants it. You know, obviously, it means a lot. You love that.
You know, and then talking to him, he's a soft-spoken, shy guy, really.
Yeah.
You know, so that's out of character for him to get that upset, but it's the passion.
Yeah.
You know, he just wants to win.
He wants to help. He thinks he would have gotten that yard.
Yeah, I understand. I totally understand.
But I agree, you can't walk away from the teammates and check out mentally. There's a lot of time to go. Evan Royster back at tailback for the Lions on 2nd down. Morelli fires near side and is caught by Butler. Short gain. Brown on the stop. It'll be 3rd and short. Needs about a yard.
Well-fought football game. We thought it would be a physical game. We thought that these two teams would come in and show a lot of pride from the tradition that they have at their institutions. For the Aggies, really, hey, they're auditioning. Mike Sherman's watching this game.
He's going to analyze this film when he gets in. He's got to make decisions on players for next year, who's going to have opportunities, who he can trust and depend on.
Royster can't quite get the corner. He's tracked down by Vaughn Miller, the backup defensive end. Well, plenty of coverage of the Patriots-Giants postgame coming up on SportsCenter. Patriots coming back to beat the Giants, close out a 16-0 regular season. With Neuheisel higher at UCLA, back at his alma mater. top 10 upsets in college basketball.
Great hire by UCLA. Congratulations, Rick Neuheisel. I've spoken to him quite a bit here over the last 4 or 5 weeks. I think Rick is going to be an outstanding hire. Maybe the best move of the offseason here with these coaches.
Seemed pretty obvious that they waited a long time to officially name him. But he seemed the obvious choice. Kinlaw tripped up.
Not as much success running the ball to the left, huh?
No. But, you know, Neuheisel's a guy, now he's got 3 years of pro football in his back pocket. You know, to go, he's dynamic. I mean, he's going to go out to UCLA and he will challenge Pete Carroll's enthusiasm and confidence in recruiting.
Right, he's got to sell the fact that UCLA can compete, you know, with USC for championships.
Right.
But he's been a very effective, aggressive recruiter wherever he's been.
Who isn't? Who's not an aggressive recruiter that's out there recruiting big-time players?
3rd and 6. Aggies show pressure, bring it off the corner. Morelli, and the receiver falls down. Throw was on the outside. Norwood couldn't get back to it. And a little pressure on Morelli forces him to get rid of it quick.
I thought A&M lined up offside.
In the neutral zone, weren't they?
For sure.
Yeah, got away with one there.
Getting away with it.
You know what, though? Hey, the clock stops. Aggies, 2 timeouts. Chris, you made the point. Jaworski's got to get back in this game mentally, right? You know, hey, his ball club's touchdown down. That's it.
You know, it may come down to him carrying the ball on a 4th and 1 somewhere. It may come down to him having to make a play to keep a drive alive to tie this thing up.
Low snap collected by Jeremy Boone. Again, he's knocked down, but no flag. He's had a hard time selling that with the official tonight. This one bounds into the end zone. Little acting there. Conference USA official unconvinced. Aggies 80 yards away, down 7, 3:59 to play.
It's that magical time of year. Get a special lease offer on a powerfully luxurious E350 sports sedan at the Mercedes-Benz Winter Event, now through January 2nd. There's never been a better time to get that Mercedes-Benz on your wish list.
The Cypher stent is not for everyone. If you can't take antiplatelet medicine or have certain allergies, it's not for you. Its risks include the formation of a blood clot in the stent, heart attack, and a repeat procedure. Talk to your doctor about these risks and whether this or other treatments are right for you.
Versus ATV, Untamed, rated everyone.
An ode to the Subway feast. Turkey, salami, cheese with roast beef, pepperoni and ham. Write this down, Chief. We got them all on freshly baked bread. The Subway feast. It's as big as my head. Subway, eat fresh.
A&M has the football after the punt by Jeremy Boone, who had a tough time selling this to an official. This looks like enough contact to draw a flag most of the time. E.J. Schenkel, and for the Aggies, hits him up pretty high.
I say he's bumped pretty good there. The fact he's off balance makes it exaggerated, but he was...
Do you think Jopa's saying, look, I've coached 500 games, and you can't tell me that's not roughing it?
Well, in 499 of them, that's roughing.
Yeah, first time.
Well, running into anyway, it was 4th and 6. It would have needed to be the 15-yarder to give him the first down. McGee, shovel pass, Goodson. Weaves his way for about 10 in traffic.
I love McGee's awareness. Love his awareness, moving around. I think Goodson's got to learn to go a little more north and south and quit trying to break everyone for big yards.
Speaking of awareness, how about Jopa? There have been a few things happen in his time, right, as a coach?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I would say there have been a few presidents, and the Dow's made a little bit of a climb.
The price of a gallon of gas has gone up $2.70 since '66. This is Goodson shimmying across the 40, a first down. This Penn State defense trying to dig deep, guys. They look to be worn out. Aggies have been effective moving the ball.
And listening to Joe talk to us, he inspires me to want to be a coach and have that game on Saturday to look forward to and have, as he would say, his squad and get ready. I love the way he thinks, his approach, the way he builds character in his players. And maybe I'm as old school as he is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, he's good for college football. College football will miss Joe Paterno if he ever decides to leave the game.
McGee on first down fires to Goodson. Goodson trying to make a man miss and struggles to get out of bounds. Doesn't. Clock is still running. Maurice Evans on the stop.
You know, at some point, Martellus Bennett has a linebacker, Dan Connor, on him. He's got a height advantage there. Singled up over there. You need a big play. You know, put it up tall where you got a chance down the field.
I just feel like McGee is going to make this drive happen, using his legs, running for first down, buying time, whatever it takes. You know, the bottom line is getting it into the end zone, though. He's got to finish it off.
Lions blitz up the middle. And there's a flag, a pair of them as McGee rolls out. That was an almost certain holding penalty as McGee was flushed out. Lions brought pressure up the middle.
Boy, and those are drive killers. Now you're out of down and distance. Now, like you said, Craig, you need a big play to help you convert.
Holding, 76, offense, 10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
Michael Schumard, guard starting in place of the injured Chris Yoder, the sophomore, called for holding. 2nd and 20 now.
Jerry Franks, number 8. Martellus Bennett, wide receiver, tied in. I mean, one of these players has to step up and make a big play.
Receivers have done almost nothing for A&M all night. Part of the story of their season. It'll be 3rd and long. Maurice Evans, leading sacker for the Lions. 12.5 on the season. Bringing pressure. They haven't got to McGee a lot. Only 1 sack for Penn State. They came in number 2 in the country in that department, but they pressured McGee a lot of hurries.
And all of his scrambles and his rolls when he leaves the pocket have been to the right. Nothing has moved to the left.
Yeah, he looks comfortable moving to the right. The ball ends up staying on the right hash the whole day, and you're running into the short side of the field. He had nothing downfield there after the scramble. You know, it's a good decision to throw it away. They have to get something by design, though. Stick it up a seam or lay it up for grabs.
Lane in, 4 receivers on 3rd and 20. McGee pressured, throws it on the hop to Lane. It ruled incomplete. That was close to being a lateral. McGee was pressured by Abe Coroma. 4th and 20.
Well, you only have 2 timeouts and 2 minutes to go. 4th and 20. You could get the ball back if you punt.
That was just desperation. Very nearly a lateral, though.
He's just trying to get it out of his hand and make a play in the situation to get you into down and distance that was makeable.
And we'll punt it and try to use their timeouts to get one last crack with a few seconds to go. Brantley's had a good night, averaging 53 yards a punt. And this is a rocket. Serrano lets it bounce into the end zone. So Penn State, after the 67-yard punt, will take over at the 20-yard line. 2:01 to chew up and send Paterno home a winner in game number 500. Trying to give him his 23rd bowl win. That is more than all but about, what, 6 or 7 schools in college football. His wins alone. Contemplate that. If he were a school, he'd be in the top 10.
Just enjoy being in his presence. Absolutely. It's amazing what he has done. And he still has that fire and that drive. And although it's his 500th game, he knows the importance of these bowl games to these kids. This particular game, these kids only have so many bowl games.
Even the Aggie coaches, they went to dinner a couple nights ago together as staffs. I mean, they enjoyed it. Everybody wants to be around Joe Paterno.
Evan Royster, the freshman, trying to protect the football, picks up about 8. Marquise Carpenter on the stop. Well, Darnell gave a glowing speech to Joe, didn't he? He said all the great things, how he was a mentor, he admired him, and then at the end he said, but we're going to kick your rear end.
Yeah.
And Joe laughed, I loved it.
Yeah.
Darnell said.
Loved it. Joe Paterno's got a great sense of humor. You know, coaches love him, players love him. To me, the testimony of whether or not the guy can still handle it is not just the wins, but the fact that so many young players connect and identify with him still. They want to go play for Joe Paterno.
Joe's induction ceremony at the class of 2007 College Football Hall of Fame and Marriott Marquis, or excuse me, the Waldorf Astoria in New York, joining Doug Flutie there. Got a stirring, emotional speech from Joe.
Flutie, we made Flutie at Penn State, for crying out. Flutie came in as a freshman. They stuck him in the game because the game was over, and he starts throwing, you know, loosey-goosey, throwing the ball all over the place, ends up with a couple hundred yards. Next year, what'd you throw, 500 yards against us? But we beat you 51 to something, right?
Set me up, boy. He's something else, and he's got, I mean, the memory is there. He remembered all of those games.
That's a big first down carry. Maybe this Aggie defense just kind of unable to summon enough to get a stop here. Now it's costly after they burn that timeout. Now the Lions can move the chains. They should be able to bleed this clock out. That was a heck of a speech that Joe made, though. You said, you know, you're ready to go out and play a football game in the middle of Park Avenue.
Fired up, banging the podium and going after it. And all of the guys that had gotten inducted, there were some young guys that got awards too. We're jumping up. Let's put the pads on and take them on. Let's go. Let's play. You were ready. You were fired up. You were ready to roll.
He still does that. Get a meeting with him. You sit around. He really took the time with us this week and was very gracious in his time. Everybody wants Joe's time, but he took the time for us to really get the feel for where he was with his team, where he is in his life.
Joe's got his 5 children and 16 grandchildren here with him in San Antonio, and he's got a pretty good team coming back next year. They lose Anthony Morelli, Dan Connor, another senior, Justin King, a junior that may consider his options, but basically, other than those guys, the entire team back. And Jay Paterno promising they'll have a little different look on offense next year. Perhaps Darrell Clark as a running quarterback.
We stayed at the Penn State team hotel. That's where we lounged around this week. Every time I got on the elevator, there was a Paterno kid,
there were little Paternos all over the place.
It was hard to avoid him, yes. Sue, Joe's wife, holding court. Joe Pond numerology, of course, arrived there in 1950 as an assistant. And in that time, 817 head coaching changes, including Rick Neuheisel today. 16 grandchildren. Donated $4 million to the library and only missed 3 games in that time.
You know, his salary came out of what, 500 grand, 550?
About 550.
Yeah, that was shocking to his kids. Remember that he was offered the opportunity to go to the Patriots back in 1973. The Sullivan family wanted to make Paterno the highest paid coach in history, pro or college, and they were going to give him guys. This is unbelievable. As we see Royster fall forward, an 8% share of the New England Patriots to get him to leave Penn State to coach that team.
And $1 million right now. And $1 million back then.
Right, but you know what?
8% today.
What's the team worth? $1 billion?
Got to be.
Well, that's a pretty good chunk of money. You're talking about $80 million. But he decided to stay at Penn State. He turned down a later offer to coach New England in the early 80s.
Now the fuzzy math category, he's making $500, but he's given $4 million plus to the school.
Other sources.
Like my fuzzy math.
Other sources.
Somewhere there's something else coming in that house.
Here's 3rd and 2. Last chance for the Aggies, and they do get the stop. And we'll see. It'll be 4th down.
Better hurry up and spot that ball, or they're
see when they start the play clock. If it goes inside of 25, they will not have to snap it again. And that's it. That's it. They will not have to snap it again, and Joe Paterno wins his 23rd bowl game at Penn State and wins his 500th game overall as head coach of the Nittany Lions. He's one behind Bobby Bowden in the all-time win category now. They had to earn it, though.
Congratulations to Coach Paterno, Penn State. Congratulations to the Texas Aggies, Gary Darnell and his staff for the integrity and character they showed in keeping the ship floating.
So Mike Sherman will take over next year and start a new era in Aggie football as the Lions will look to bigger things in 2008 with the nucleus of their team coming back. Score one for the Big Ten, 24-17 over the Big 12. A disappointing night for Jaworski Lane. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. For our Thursday night crew, for Craig, for Doug, for Aaron, I'm Chris Fowler. So long. SportsCenter coming up right now.
Perfection, it isn't achieved in sports or in life, for that matter, very often.
When I say 17-0, it's not about the 17, it's about the O.
We all strive for it, but relatively few, if ever, get to succeed.
16 minutes, you understand me?
It comes down to one word: perfection. Flawless. Absolute perfection. We've been on top of the mountain by ourselves for 35 years. If it's time to move over, we have to recognize the accomplishment.
We got him on the ropes. Let's see what we're doing now.
We of the Dolphins can appreciate it, perhaps more than anybody else in the NFL ever.
I would be the first guy to call that coach and congratulate him.
If you make it, we'll move over and welcome you to the mountain.
You know, I've heard that a couple times, and each time I get chicken skin. How's it? Welcome to SportsCenter alongside Scott Van Pelt. I'm Neil Everett. Perfect regular season is not a perfect season, but you can't have the latter without the former.
The world title is the Patriots' expressed goal, but 16-0 was within reach with one more win. New England got a tussle from the New York Football Giants. Chris Berman and Tom Jackson have the highlight. Boomer, TJ?
All right, and thank you very much. With Tom Jackson, we are almost at New Year's Day. And there's a team in the National Football League that has yet to lose a regular season game. That's preposterous. Hadn't seen it in 35 years. And it happened twice before that with regular season shorter than the 16 games they play now. Every team has given them their best shot, including the New York Football Giants. Would this Saturday night before New Year's be the night, or would the Patriots complete the regular season unblemished? Bill Belichick, Tom Brady and company, yes, all sorts of records, but Tom Coughlin was there to send his team and send his team playing their best. And Eli Manning and the offense came out, Tom, with a lot of confidence.